Hi everybody. It's been a little while since I've done one of these video rants, and well, doggone it. Actually, that's not true. I did a video rant like a week or two ago, and Ustream ate it. And it disappeared, and I don't know what happened to it. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. Wow, it was genius. It was sheer, unadulterated awesome. The likes of which we will never see again. Oh well, that happens every now and then. But today what we're talking about is the most dangerous thing I think that you can have happen to you with your creative work, and that's doubt. You see, particularly new writers, we get the sense that, oh my gosh, what I'm doing isn't worth anything. It's not nobody's ever going to read it, nobody's going to look at it, nobody's going to like it. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And so we tend to hide it. We don't publish it. And that's one of Heinlein's kind of rules. It's the, write, finish what you wrote, submit it, write something else. That's Heinlein. And I think that's true in a lot of different ventures. People who are creative, people who want to be creative, let's put it that way. Because I think everybody has some creativity in them, whether it's, some people are creative through sewing, some people are creative through writing, some people are creative through music, some people are creative through cooking, which is hard to do on the internet, but I guess you can put recipes and stuff out there. Anyway, there are all kinds of ways that you can share that talent, but you've got to recognize that you have a talent, and then you've got to be willing to show it. Right?
Exactly.
Right. You've got to be willing to put yourself out there, because if you're not willing to put yourself out there, it's not like somebody's going to show up at your doorstep and say, you ought to be putting videos on the internet! Or, you should totally be writing! Well, no. There are people who say you should be writing.
Only
That's
because
actually,
you know your work.
well, no, that's actually the name of a podcast. There's a podcast, and the name of the podcast is I Should Be Writing. Well, I guess it's not you should be writing. Okay. Yeah, so nobody's going to come up to you and say, you should totally be writing! Although you probably should. Nobody's going to be coming up to you and saying that you should find ways to be creative, you should find ways to make a difference for yourself and for your family. Yeah. And that kind of brings me to what I'm thinking about this Mad Poet Files. There's been a lot of talk lately going on the internet about the power of free, and does free work, and is it a viable option going forward? And I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with the show, or with the podcast. For anybody who's going to be catching this later, the podcast, Mad Poet Files, is at madpoetfiles.com. And, there are some short stories up there right now, and that's what it is. It's a short story podcast. And I started out putting PDFs of the stories up there, but then I stopped because if somebody likes it, I want to give them the ability to support my work and support the show. And the way to support it would be financially. I mean, the fact of the matter is, I think the free market is, it's all about the money. The fact, I'm a Toydarian. Mind tricks don't work on me, only money. Yes. Because the fact of the matter is, I believe in the power of the free market. The free market will signal good stuff. And one of the ways, well, pretty much the way that it signals good stuff is through the flow of cash to good stuff. Now, there are a couple of things that need to happen there. I need to figure out a way for people to support the work financially. I need to figure out a product, something that people will be able to actually purchase. Whether it be me publishing the short stories through Smashwords, or lumping them together and putting them up on Kindle, or a variety of different options, a subscription feed, all kinds of things. I'm not sure what yet. And when I say subscription, I mean like there's a PayPal regular kind of subscription thing that you can set up on the website, and I'll probably have one of those up here pretty quick. But in the meantime, I mean, and that's one part of it. You have to have the channels in place, or the products in place, something for somebody to do to contribute to your work. And if it's cooking, Maybe you're putting out recipes and you're selling recipe collections on Kindle. Who knows? Find a way to let people support you financially. Now, that's one. Two, I mean, prior to that, you absolutely positively definitely have to have really good content. If you don't have good content, then there's no value there for people to come after. And there has been a lot of talk about worrying about people being so used to free stuff that they're not willing to pay for stuff. I don't know. I personally don't agree with that. Having purchased multiple books by podcast authors and read and enjoyed them, having purchased multiple copies of books by podcast authors to pass around to my friends and my family, I don't buy it. I think that if the content is there and you can create a connection with your fans will want to support you. And a portion of your fans will. And it may not be enough to support a full-time job. It may not be enough to put you into, I don't know, it may not be enough to replace your day job. But in the meantime, you've got to do something to make it worth your while. You've got to create the situation that makes it possible for the market to signal how well you're doing. So good content. The channels of distribution or the projects, the products, whatever it is that you're putting out there. Ebooks. Everybody's talking about ebooks. The iPad's coming, and not just fiction, but there are a whole lot of business ebooks and ebooks about promotion and SEO and all kinds of different stuff. So don't think that this is just, for the science fiction podcasting crowd. Totally not. Good content, products, channels of distribution, and last but not least, promotion. I was reading an article the other day that talked about promotion and how a lot of the stuff that gets promoted isn't probably worth the promotion that it's getting, because it's just like everything else. Well, that's fine, I guess. And that certainly is a thought. The thought is that if you're creating really good content, then you're going to have people coming to you just naturally. Right? It's a good thought. But without the necessary marketing, without people willing to share and kind of preach what you're doing to other people, without a way to get the word out to new people who might enjoy your stuff, how are they ever going to find you? I mean, there could be the greatest content in the world, but if nobody knows where you're at, and nobody knows how to find you, and nobody knows it's out there, that's still a market failure. It's a market failure on the part of the content creator because he's not putting it out there in front of people. Like I said, I'm really spitballing here. I'm not really sure what I'm talking about. I'm just a guy on the internet. There are lots of guys on the internet. They've got lots of opinions. This is just one of them. Anyway, that's it. I'm Zach Ricks, Twitter's Mad Poet. You can follow me on Twitter at Mad Poet. You can find my short stories at madpoetfiles.com. You can find my other podcast, Geek Survival Guide, at geeksurvivalguide.net. And got Checkcast, got Checkcast.info. Dang, I'm in a lot of podcasts. Well, 3. Maybe that's not a lot. Seems like a lot sometimes. Talk to you later.